Hi everyone, and welcome to another thrilling installment of The Dungeon Crashers. I'm Guy.
And I'm Sapil.
And before we get started, I want you guys to notice that we are no longer sitting in my garage.
Yep. We got the game room back.
I got my game room back. We're still in the process of remodeling it again, and when we're done, we're going to do like a little walkthrough video and show off all our stuff. But you can see we got some of our D&D books back there.
Yeah.
Some accessories. And
swords are on the wall instead of leaning against it.
And remember to like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Mm-hmm. We post new content every week. And also, if you have some character ideas you'd like to share or see us work on, please let us know in the comments. And now, without further ado, let's get on with today's creation. I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been wanting to use this race since it came out, and I'm just waiting for the right campaign to play one in.
Right. Yeah, and like we said in the last video, we're building a happy little pixie. Well, we went with a fairy race instead. Technically kind of the same, but it's fairy race. It's a newer race from the book, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. It fits this build perfectly, and the roleplay ideas for this character are endless. I see this character as a protector of the forest or a hidden cave full of natural wonders. In a party, this character is going to be the support and being able to cast a lot of decent healing spells with quite a few damaging spells as well. But it's going to be mainly focusing on healing. One of its second level abilities is going to make it an amazing healer. It'll hold its own in melee combat, but you're not suited for it. You don't really have the armor class, and your hit points aren't the best. But in many ways, it'll give you a lot of ways to disengage from an enemy if you do get into melee combat.
Right. And the Fairy Light race, like the other new races, gets 3+1s to ability scores with no more than 2 in one score. We went with +2 to Wisdom, since that's our main casting stat, and +1 to Dexterity for armor class and initiative. Mm-hmm. Since fairies are infused with magic from the Feywild, they get certain characteristics. They range from having shimmering, multicolored skin to insect legs to smelling like fresh brownies. Mm-hmm. There's a chart in the book you roll at random to see which one you get, but you can also just pick what you like. If you don't have the book, the chart can be found online. You are considered small with a lifespan of around a century, and your walking speed is 30 feet. You also have wings that give you a 30-foot fly speed, but only if you're wearing light armor or no armor. Mm-hmm. Not going to be a problem for us.
No.
For language, you start with Common and one other you can choose to fit the campaign. Sylvan and Elvish would both be appropriate. I'm surprised they don't just get Sylvan for free.
Yeah.
And you know Fairy Magic. You get the Druid Craft cantrip, and then starting at 3rd level you can cast Fairy Fire, and at 5th level you can cast Enlarge Reduce. Once you cast them with this ability, you can't cast that spell with it again until you finish a long rest. But you can also cast either of those spells using any spell slots you have of the appropriate level.
Yeah.
Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spellcasting ability for these spells when you cast them with this ability. Choose when you select this race. Mm-hmm. We're going to go with Wisdom.
Yeah, definitely. For the background, we went with Sage. Bard Traveler is also a good choice here. You get Insight and Perception as your skills. With Sage, we get Arcana and History as skills, which help us a lot because our Intelligence modifier isn't going to be that high. So you get 2 languages of your choice. Pick something that, again, works with your campaign. The part of Sage that I like the best is that you know how to find information about lore. Now, this isn't a major ability, but it can be very useful to create roleplay situations. As a DM myself, I would be basing a campaign off this character with this background, maybe being like a historian setting out to investigate ancient ruins or caves or whatnot. You know, they know the lore about that area, and it's great to build a party around that type of character. Mm-hmm. For ability scores, we went with the point buy system. We went 8 on strength. You don't want to be anywhere near combat. You do know how to protect yourself, so 13 on dexterity, getting +1 from your racial bonus, making it 14. 14 on constitution, 12 on intelligence, 14 on wisdom, getting the +2 from the racial bonus, making it 16, and 12 on charisma. You are a fairy, you want to have some kind of charisma. With these ability scores, you have a good spell attack, spell DC, AC hit points, and can make do with a finesse weapon and a shield if you need to.
Now, at 1st level we go with Druid. We start with 2 choice of skills. We took Perception and Nature. Perception is key for any build, and with your high Wisdom modifier, you're really good at it. Nature helps with your Sage background, making you knowledgeable in more roleplay situations. And you get the secret Druidic language for free. So now you speak a total of 5 languages, which can be really handy for role-playing. Starting off, your spell attack is +5 and your save DC is 13. And you get 2 cantrips and 2 first level spell slots. You can prepare a number of spells equal to your Druid level plus your Wisdom modifier, giving you 4 right now. And you can pick them from any spell on the Druid list after a long rest. Produce Flame and Shillelagh are the cantrips we'll take. For first level spells, take Ice Knife, Healing Words, Absorb Elements, and Cure Wounds. You can also take Detect Magic here if you're the only one in your party that can get it, but otherwise leave that to the wizards.
Yeah, they can do it for a ritual, leave it to them.
And for starting equipment, take a club, which you will cast Shillelagh on, studded leather, and a shield. And you also get an Explorer's Pack, or a Dungeoneer's Pack, etc. Now, both Druid and Ranger, which we'll get to later, can use a Druidic focus for their spellcasting. This can be a number of things. A couple options can be a wand or scepter of yew or other special wood, which could be your club, or a totem item adorned with feathers, fur, etc. from sacred animals, which could be your shield.
Yeah,
I like the idea of a shield with feathers and
bones and
everything hanging on
decorated on your shield, and you're charging into battle with it. So.
And at second level, we take Druid again. We get Wild Shape. You can transform into a beast of challenge rating quarter or lower that doesn't have a fly or swim speed. There's an optional feature at second level. You gain the ability to summon a spirit that assumes an animal form. As an action, you can spend a use of your Wild Shape feature to cast the Find Familiar spells without material components. When you cast a spell in this way, the familiar is a fae instead of a beast, and the familiar disappears after a number of hours equal to half your Druid level.
Yeah. That is a very good optional feature, so we won't be using the Wild Shape very often. We also get our Druidic Circle here, and we took the circle Druid of Dreams from Xanthathar's Guide to Everything. These druids seek to fill the world with dreamy wonder. Their magic mends wounds and brings joy to the downcast hearts. And the realms they protect are gleaming, fruitful places where the dreams and reality blur together and where weary can find rest. And their first ability is the Balm of the Summer Court, gaining a pool of Fey energy represented by the number of D6s equal to your Druid level. As a bonus action, you can choose an ally you can see within 120 feet. You can spend a number of those dice equal to half your Druid level or less. Roll the spent dice and add them together. The target regains a number of hit points equal to the total. The target also gains 1 temporary hit point for each dice spent. You regain the expended dice after a long rest. You can prepare another first level spell and one more first level spell slot at this level. You can prepare to detect magic now if you didn't before, or Charm Person is another good choice. That ability makes you, at second level, the ultimate healer. As you're gaining levels, you're getting more D6s that you can send at 120 feet to anybody that you can see and heal them for it. Plus, give them a temporary hit point.
Right, and it's a bonus action.
It's a bonus action.
It's having like a whole pile of healing words.
Yeah, at your disposal. That doesn't cost a spell slot, so. For third level, we want to dive into Ranger for a few levels. At first Ranger level, you get a skill, and we took a minute to decide what to take here. There are 4 choices that could really help this character out: Insight, Investigation, Stealth, and Survival. Depending on how your campaign is going, if you find yourself making a lot of stealth checks, take Stealth here, and along with the other ones, Survival and so forth. You get 2 other optional choices here. First, you're going to take Tracking, and the second, you're going to take Expertise and Languages. For the Expertise, use it on Perception. You have a high Wisdom score. Now you have a great Perception score. You're going to be great rolling for Perception. And you get 2 more languages at this level, making a grand total of 7. You are basically now your party's interpreter.
Okay, better than a bard in some situations.
Yeah. So you don't have the highest Charisma score, but you can understand every language out there. At 4th level, we're going to take our 2nd level of Ranger. You get a fighting style, and we took the Druidic Warrior. It gives you 2 Druid cantrips, so take Guidance and Thorn Whip. Thorn Whip is an especially fun spell here for this character, since you can fly. So you can fly above enemies, cast Thorn Whip. If you hit, you pull them 10 feet into the air. And then, by proceeding to drop them to the ground, they should have to make an acrobatics or athletics check. I would say at least a 10 for somebody that's not wearing heavy armor. If they're wearing heavier armor, like plate or something, at least a 15 DC on that would be good. And falling damage, you do D6 for every 10 feet falling.
Right.
So they would at least, plus the thorn whip damage, plus a D6, you're at least doing something decent there.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, they can be prone, and your party gets advantage on them.
Yeah. And by rule, all they do is take the falling damage. But I can't imagine a DM just not giving them some kind of roll to avoid falling prone.
Yeah, because you pick up a guy in full plate mail, he's not going to just land on his feet, like the superhero pose. They land like that on the ground. It's not going to work.
But yeah, talk to your DM about it.
Yeah, definitely get DM clearance for that.
It's still fun to do anyway.
Yeah.
And since we're multicasting spellcasters here, you'll need to consult the multiclass spellcaster table. It's on page 164 of the player's handbook. And that calculates how many spell slots you have. This will often give you higher level spell slots than you know or can prepare. You can still use these slots for upcasting lower level spells. And you can use your spell slots to cast spells from either of your classes, your ranger or druid. Next level we get 2 spells known, and we're going to take Hunter's Mark, and we're also going to take Wild Cunning. We took Wild Cunning because you call out to the nature spirits to aid you, and there's a few options of what they can do, but they're all really helpful things. Finding food, finding shelter, making camp, breaking camp. It's just a fun spell.
And it fits perfectly with your character.
Right. It is Unearthed Arcana, but one I don't think most DMs are going to object to.
Yeah.
And it really has style and flavor to this character. And now, as of right now, you have 4 first level spell slots and 2 second level spell slots. Since you don't know any second level spells, use those second level spots to outcast some of your first level spells. And 5th level is third level ranger. We get an optional feature that's for its bonus spells. It's one of the ranger options from Tasha. And you get spells which you can cast for free once per day. Speak with animals, be sense, speak with plants, locate creature, and commune with nature is all the ones you get as you go up levels.
Yeah.
And we also get our ranger archetype. And we're going with Swarmkeeper. And how it works is you wield the power of a small army of nature spirits. At 3rd level, a swarm of intangible nature spirits has bonded itself to you, and it can assist you in battle. Until you die, the swarm remains in your space, crawling on you or flying or skittering around while you're within your space. And you determine its appearance, or you can roll a d4 to choose. But what we want here is playful pixies, just for the style. But hummingbirds or butterflies can be fun too.
Yeah.
And now once on each of your turns, you can cause a swarm to assist you in one of the following ways. Immediately after you hit a creature with an attack, the attack's target takes a d6 piercing damage from the swarm, or the attack's target must succeed on a strength saving throw against your spell save DC or be moved by the swarm up to 15 feet horizontally in a direction of your choice. Or you are moved by the swarm 5 feet horizontally in a direction of your choice. This ability works well for us because we want to make melee attacks, but we don't want to be in melee combat. However, we can fly, so we swoop in, attack with our club, which is hopefully benefiting from Shillelagh and Hunter's Mark, then have our swarm move us 5 feet away, and then fly out of melee range. Or if you're willing to risk them making a strength save, you could try to push them 15 feet instead. And also, if you don't mind sticking around in melee, you can get that extra d6 damage added on.
Yeah.
Also, when we're out of melee range, we can attack with Produce Flame or Thorn Whip, meaning we don't really need a ranged weapon. However, it wouldn't hurt to carry a few darts, because they can also trigger your swarm effects, like you could hit somebody with a dart and knock them 15 feet.
Yep. We also get a ranger spell known here, and we took Alarm. It helps with the party during resting times, and we get 2 spells, and here take Mage Hand. We get the Mage Hand cantrip. You can cast it, and it takes the form of swarming nature spirits as well. You also get Fairy Fire, but it doesn't count against the number of ranger spells. You got it earlier with the Druid craft and all that. So at 6th level, we get our 4th level of Ranger. We get an ability boost. It's going to Wisdom, making it 18. At this point, your spell attack is now at a +7, and your save DC is at a 15. You get another 2nd level spell slot, and you can prepare a Druid spell here since your Wisdom modifier went up. Normally, you couldn't there, but now you can because it goes off your Wisdom for your Druid spells. At 7th level, we went with our 5th level of Ranger. We get 2 attacks per round now. That's kind of where we want to stop with this Ranger build. It's making our club and Shillelagh cast on it, making it do more damage. And we get another Ranger spell known here. And it's at 2nd level spell. We're taking Healing Spirit. It'll add to your arsenal of healing spells. At 8th level, we're going back to Druid for 3rd level. You can prepare one more Druid spell here, take Wither and Bloom. It can damage an enemy while also healing your allies that's in the area. I'd have to say at this point, you are one of the best healers out there. You have 2 3rd level spell slots, but no 3rd level spells, so you can use it to upcast your other spells now. At 9th level, we're taking our 4th level of Druid. We get an ability boost here, and we're capping our Wisdom at 20. Your wild shape improves to a max creature rating of half with no fly speed, but it can have the swimming speed now. You can take another cantrip here, take Poison Spray. And we can also prepare 2 Druid spells of 2nd level or lower, take Moonbeam and Lesser Restoration. Good damaging spell and a great support spell. They both can come in handy at any time. We also get a 3rd level spell slot here, but again, you can't use it yet because you don't have any 3rd level spells.
Right. And now at 10th level, we're going to take a 5th level Druid. And for the prepared spell, you get a 5th level, which can be 3rd level or lower. And it's a good time to take the spell Magic.
Yep.
Now you might be wondering why not Call Lightning or Erupting Earth for some damaging spells. But we already have a few good damaging spells that we can upcast. And now we have 1 4th level spell slot to upcast those in. And you don't know how many times I've been in a party and I wish we had someone who could use the spell Magic.
Mm-hmm.
However, remember as a druid, we can prepare spells, so we can take whatever suits our need for the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a DM, I've also wished the party had been carrying a spell magic.
Yeah, you're stuck in front of the door, you can't go anywhere to go, and it's got a magical lock on it, and you're like, well, there's nothing we can do.
Right. And also, if you have a wizard in the party, he might be handling that.
Yeah.
But now, 11th level, we're going to take 6th level druid. And we get our Circle of Dreams archetype feature here. It's called Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow. Now, during a short rest, you can invoke the shadowy power of the Gloaming Court to help guard your respite. At the start of the rest, you touch a point in space, and an invisible 30-foot radius sphere of magic appears centered on that point. Total cover blocks the sphere, and while within the sphere, you and your allies gain a +5 bonus to Dexterity stealth checks and Wisdom perception checks. And any light from open flames in the sphere, like your campfires or torches, isn't visible outside it. Mm-hmm. This is great, as in, you're hidden while you're resting, you have managed to detect people sneaking up on you. I love this kind of spell, both as a player and as a DM.
Mm-hmm. And it works really well with the other spell, Alarm, that you got from Ranger.
And now, the sphere vanishes at the end of a rest, or when you leave the sphere. It's mostly a roleplay effect, but it's straight up useful if your DM likes to have random encounters while you rest.
Mm-hmm.
Which I and other DMs in our group all like to do.
Yes, we do.
And you get another prepared spell here. You could also now take Call Lightning or Erupting Earth. But remember, Call Lightning uses your bonus action, which can interfere with all your healing abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And you get another 4th level spell slot. Now, 12th level, we're taking 7th level Druid. For our prepared spell we get at this level, it can now be 4th level or lower. And I'd like to take Blight. It's high damage spell dealing 88 necrotic damage on a failed con save, half on a successful save. And if you target a plant, creature, or magical plant, it makes a saving throw with disadvantage, and spell deals maximum damage to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you target a non-magical plant that isn't a creature, such as a tree or shrub, it doesn't make a saving throw, it just dies.
Yeah.
There are a few drawbacks to the spell. It has no effect against undead and constructs, and it only has a 30-foot range.
Yeah, very short range.
Yeah. You now have 3 4th level spell slots and 1 5th level that you can use for upcasting.
At 13th level, we're taking at 8th level of Druid. We'll be taking ability boost here. We're going to boost our dexterity up, making it 16. This will help with our AC, initiative, dex saves, and dex-based skills. Your wild shape improves, allowing you to transform into a max creature rating of a 1 beast with no movement speed restrictions. For your prepared spells, take Fire Shield. Flame envelops your body for the duration, shedding bright light within a 10-foot radius and dim light within an additional 10 feet, which also works pretty good because you're a fairy and you don't have dark vision. You can end this spell early by using an action to dismiss it. The flames provide you with warmth, with Warm Shield or a Chill Shield, whichever one you choose. The Warm Shield grants you resistance to cold damage, and the Chill Shield grants you resistance to fire damage. In addition, whenever a creature within 5 feet of you hits you with a melee attack, the shield erupts with flames or ice. The attacker takes 2d8 fire damage or 2d8 cold damage. So it's very helpful in that situation. You also get another 5th level spell slot, making it 2 that you can use for upcasting now. At 14th level, we're going with 9th level of Druid. For the prepared spell, take Mass Cure Wounds. You can choose up to 6 creatures with in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on that point. Each target regains a hit points total equaling 3d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, and you now have 1 6th-level spell slot to use for upcasting. Cure Mass Wounds, another great one for your many ways to heal people.
Mm-hmm.
At 15th level, we're taking our 10th level of Druid. You get the Circle of Dreams archetype here, Hidden Paths. You can use the hidden magical pathways that some Fae use to traverse space in the blink of an eye. As a bonus action on your turn, you can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see, almost like Misty Step. Mm-hmm. Alternatively, you can use your action to teleport a willing creature you touch up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. So this could be very helpful. You're just about ready to get into a fight, you say, go get him, barbarian, and he's in the fight already.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. And you can regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This ability can be used in a lot of fun ways. For the prepared Druid spell, take Cone of Cold. Each creature in a 60-foot cone must make a Constitution saving throw. A creature takes 8d8 cold damage on a failed save and half as much damage on a successful one. A creature killed by this spell becomes a frozen statue until it thaws. You get another Druid cantrip here. Take anything that you like. You already have a ton of Druid cantrips. Take anything you want at this point.
Right, yeah. And then we're going to go on to 16th level, and we're staying with Druid for 11th level. And for a prepared Druid spell, it can now be 6th level or lower. And heal is good. Everybody knows that, but
yes.
Yeah, choose a creature you can see within range, and a surge of positive energy washes through the creature, causing it to regain 70 hit points. And it also ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases affecting the target. And it doesn't affect constructs or undead. Yeah, this is a great way to get somebody back in the fight really fast. Mm-hmm. Now, since you only have 1 6th level spell slot, you need to make sure to use it wisely and wait until your big bruiser's almost down, then heal them right back up. Now, you get your first 7th level spell slot here to use for upcasting.
Yeah.
And at 17th level, we're going to take 12th level Druid. And we're going to take an ability boost this level, giving you Dex, making it 18. This will help our armor class initiative, Dex, saves, and skills. And for the prepared Druid spell, Conjure, Fey, and Sunbeam are both excellent spells.
Yeah. As far as that ability boost, you could boost your Constitution here if you wanted. If you were finding that you were just a little low on hit points during the combats, boost your Constitution there. It either way, it doesn't matter. So
right.
Or if you feel like you want to take a feat there, go ahead and take a feat. But definitely make sure it's something that might help out your abilities as well.
Mm-hmm. And at 18th level, we're going to take 13th level Druid. And now you have an 8th level spell slot here that you can use for your upcasting. And for the prepared Druid spell, that can be 7th level or lower. And take Firestorm. It's 1 action to cast and 150 foot range. And the area of the storm consists of 10 10-foot cubes, which you can rain as you wish. Each cube must have at least 1 face adjacent to the face of another cube. And each creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw. It takes 7d10 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Yeah.
The fire damages objects in the area and ignites flammable objects that aren't being worn or carried. And if you choose plant life in this area, it doesn't have to be burned, which is nice when you're a druid. Mm-hmm. And this is as druid spells go, this is one of the few spells that is as good or better as a fireball cast at the same level spell slot. And druids don't get fireball, but this is actually, because it's controllable, is a bit better spell.
Yeah, definitely. At 19th level, we're taking our 14th level of Druid. We get the Circle of Dreams feature here called Walker in Dreams. When you finish a short rest, you can cast one of the following spells without spending a spell slot or requiring material components. Big plus there. Mm-hmm. Dream, which you are the messenger of, Scrying, or Teleportation Circle. This use of Teleportation Circle is special. Rather than opening a portal to a permanent teleportation circle, it opens a portal to the last location where you finished a long rest on your current plane of existence. If you haven't taken a long rest on your current plane, the spell fails but isn't wasted. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. For the prepared druid spell, take Regenerate. You touch a creature and simulate a natural healing ability. The target regains 4d8 plus 15 hit points. For the duration of the spell, the target regains 1 hit point at the start of each of its turns, 10 points per minute. The target's severed body members' fingers, legs, tails, and so on, if any, are restored after 2 minutes. If you have the severed part, hold it to the stump, and the spell instantly causes the limb and the stump to knit back together. This is a good out-of-combat healing spell when one of your party members has lost a limb. And finally, at level 20, we're taking our 15th level of Druid. You get 1 9th level spell slot, but sadly, you don't have any 9th level spells you can cast. So use it for upcasting. You do get another prepared Druid spell at this level that can be 8th level or lower. So take Sunburst. Casting time is 1 action and its range is 150 feet. Brilliant sunlight flashes in a 60-foot radius centered on a point you can choose within range. Each creature in that light must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 12d6 radiant damage and is blinded for 1 minute. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage and it isn't blinded by the spell. Undead and oozes have disadvantage on the saving throw, and creatures blinded by the spell can make another Constitution saving throw at the end of each of their turns. And on a successful one, they are no longer blinded. This build will definitely be the party healer and support. It's got a lot of great support spells in there, plus healing, plus damaging spells. You also have many single target and AoE damaging spells to choose from as you level up. You can hold your own in melee combat if you have to. Your AC and hit points, again, aren't the greatest. So use that Swarmkeeper ability to get in and out of melee combat.
Definitely. And I think this is a fun character. I'm not normally a fan of characters that focus on healing. I kind of take the philosophy, get a few healing spells, that's all you need.
Yeah.
But this one,
until it dies.
But this one does it without giving up any power or versatility. And I also like the flavor of it. In combat, you're just straight up annoying. You flit around, deal some damage, help your friends, keep the enemies off balance. And you're also useful out of combat, keeping everyone safe during rests and scouting around. You're like everybody's best friend.
Yeah.
The annoying anime little sister that hangs around.
You're the happy little fairy jumping from group to group, chatting them up.
And really, I hope you enjoyed this and you got some ideas for your own campaign. And I hope you tune in next time when we present a number member of Zoo Crew. And so until then, cheers.
Cheers.